Good morning. It's about 7:30 a.m. in the morning. It is September 15th, 2012. And this is my first YouTube video. I wanted to take you for a short tour of my little backyard fig orchard. And this is the tree that started it all. It's about 5 years old. It was given to us by a friend as a little seedling. And we planted it, and lo and behold, 5 years later, this is what we have. This tree, believe it or not, yields about 250 to 300 figs every year, at least for the last 2 or 3 years. It's been doing that since it's come into full maturity. And we've already pulled about 100 figs off it this season already to make fig jam and fig jelly. And it's a very hardy tree, and it's been very productive. We're very happy with it. Okay, and this is a sample of some of the figs that come off this tree. I just pulled these off a few minutes ago. There's about 7 of them here. And they're going to go into the sack that we have inside already, that we've picked this week, and on Sunday morning, which is our normal time, we make ourselves some more fig jelly and fig preserves. We don't know the name of this tree. It was given to us, and all we know is the figs are light-colored figs, as you can see. But he told us that where he got this fig tree cutting from, they called this tree Lady of the Night. So we've kept that name, and it still remains Lady of the Night to us. Okay, so that's how it all started. And I'll take you over to our second tree now in our little orchard. And it's right over here. Okay, now this is a dark colored fig. And once again, we don't know. It's an unknown variation to us. We don't know what the tree's history is. But what we normally do is name our fig trees after the people who gave them to us. So this one is called the LaRocca because it was given to us by Mr. LaRocca. And it's only about 10 months old. When we received this tree back early in the spring, it was only about a 10-inch tall, maybe 8-inch tall seedling, maybe as thick as a pencil. And here we go about 10 months later, and it's a very vigorous tree, about 4.5 feet tall. And it has some figs on it. And it looks like it's real healthy. We're very happy with this tree. We are looking forward this winter to taking some cuttings off this tree and the other trees in our little orchard, and making some more cuttings that hopefully will be able to turn into new fig trees. Okay, so moving right along. This little fig tree here is called the Marion. And the reason why is that the lady who donated these cuttings, her name was Marion. She's a member of the family who has since passed away. So we have 2 cuttings off of her tree. All we know about it, once again, is that it's a dark fig tree. It produces dark figs. But it's also growing very vigorously. Very happy with it. Now, ironically, about 10 feet away from it is the sister tree to this little Marion. And it's right over here. Also a Marion. But you see, this one is a lot bigger. This is about, I would say, 5 feet tall. Yet we produced both these trees at the exact same time, out of 2 little sticks that were dormant and were about 3 inches long. And during the wintertime, we wrapped them up in moist paper towels. And we waited a few weeks, and lo and behold, we had ourselves some roots, and we potted them, and 8.5, 9 months later, here we are, 2 nice, vigorous trees. So that's the successful part of our orchard. We have other areas here where we've had a little bit of trouble. For example, this little tree here, it's called a Neary 2. And this little tree has struggled all summer long. And I think what the problem was, I think when I planted it in this pot, I just over fertilized it, because as you can see, whatever leaves are left on here, and there's not too many, they're all burnt at the edges and starting to roll under. And I just think I went way too heavy with the fertilizer. So what I did about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I took all the soil that was in this pot and I took it out and discarded it and replaced it with Home Depot potting mix. And these leaves, which during the summer looked like wilted lettuce, are starting to come back, as you can see. And at the very top of both these branches, there's two little buds that are just starting to come out that are bright green over there and over here. Now that just happened in the last 2 weeks because of the change of soil. So there's still life in this tree. We think it's going to come back, and we think it's going to be a good productive tree. We probably lost a half a season on it or so, but that's okay. After it breaks dormancy next year, it's going to be a good healthy tree. Okay, so now let me move along and show you one of my failures. And yes, we do have failures in the backyard orchard. Now this little fella here was an attempt at an air graft off that very first tree that we showed you in this video, the 5-year-old tree, Lady of the Night. We did an air graft on this back around July of this year. And I think my problem was I snipped it off a little bit too early. I had the air layer on it for about a month. And when I opened it up to look at it, before I snipped it, I saw that there was some pretty good roots on it. But I think I should have waited another month to get some more vigorous roots on it and a bigger root ball, give it a chance to get established. So I cut it and I put it into a pot, and right away I could see it struggling. Second or third day after removing it from the big tree, the leaves wilted and there was a couple of figs on it and they got real soft and mushy. So I left it in the pot for a few more days. It didn't improve. So I figured, well, let me put it in the ground. I have nothing to lose at this point in time. So I put it in the ground and it died. So not all our fig efforts are successful. Okay, but just to show you that I didn't give up on air layering, I'll walk you over here to another one of our trees. And this particular tree is called a Verte, V-E-R-T-E. I think that's pronounced Verte. And as you can see, we're attempting to air layer the entire top right off this tree. Whether we're going to be successful or not, time will tell. But since I lost the first air layer, I went online and did some research to find out what I might have done wrong first time around. So this time we're using some different techniques, and I'm definitely going to leave it on longer. It's been on already about a month, and I'm going to leave it on another month. So probably around October 16th, we're going to take a look at it and see what we see. Okay, so we learn from our mistakes, hopefully. Okay, and just to wrap up this tour, I want to take you around to the to my most favorite part of our little orchard. And this is something that I installed just around the end of July, beginning of August. And here it is. And it's called a Belgian fence. And it's my first attempt at high density fig tree planting. It's a type of espalier. And I got the idea for it from a video I saw online that was done by the Dave Wilson Nursery out in California. And they were doing a backyard orchard project on their property, and this was one of the items that they had. Of course, theirs was a lot bigger than mine. There's 10 fig trees planted here in a space 9 feet long by 2 feet wide. And theirs was about 25 feet long, and it had a lot more figs on it. But it was a fun project to do. We're going to see how it turns out. We've had some people say that we've planted too many trees too close together, and at some point in time it's going to fail. But I don't know about that. We're going to wait and see. Okay, so far though, it's doing well. All 10 trees are vigorous. There are 5 light type of figs and 5 dark types, all planted alternately, a dark and a light, a dark and a light. And no 2 varieties are the same. They're all different. And the reason I did this, I wanted to put more fig trees on my property, but I didn't want to turn my property into a jungle, so I figured, well, let's try this high density tree planting and see how it works. So anyway, that's it. That's the end of my little tour. Thank you for sticking with me. And if this video turns out good, then maybe a little later in the year we'll do another one. Okay, thanks a lot, and bye-bye.